Hey everybody, Gunny here. Glad to see everybody back in balmy Alaska. It was snowing this morning, about -2 centigrade or Celsius for you foreigners. For here it was 28 degrees roughly above zero. So it's a warm spring day in Fairbanks, Alaska. Before I get started, I just wanted to let you know that I've decided to do this webinar, this video series called The Soul of Leadership. Yesterday was series 1, today's series 2. There's 7 series total. So over the course of the next 5 or 6 days, depending on how much information I have to cover, we're going to break it down. I'm going to give you little things to do if you want to do them. If you don't want to do them, it's just stuff you can think about or meditate on. And I'm going to try to blow through them as quickly as possible. I know yesterday's was 52 minutes. I really wanted to keep it under 20, so bear with me. I'm going too fast. Please email me, let me know. We'll get started. Like I said, it's 28 degrees. It's supposed to be in the 50s this weekend, so I'm hoping to pull out the barbecue and do some barbecue with some friends this weekend. Do some brisket, some ribs, and throw down a few pints. Burn the froth off a few as it may be. Obviously the Guinness that we get over here isn't as good as good Irish Guinness, but it's what we can get over here, so that, yeah, I've got to settle with that. And I think Dave Woods would probably be proud of me, because I'm going to be running around probably in a tank top t-shirt and shorts and bare feet or flip-flops, so I'll be, everybody picks on me up here. They call me the white Eskimo anyway. Okay, second chapter with our book here, The Soul of Leadership, is emotional bonding. So, to begin with, I feel that good, honest leaders bring the best out in others. And they said that all weekend at the event. I hear it on the leadership calls on Monday nights all the time. Be sincere, be yourself, be honest. If you are that, you will draw out honest people with good integrity. But successful visionaries even go further. They form lasting emotional bonds. And this chapter, when I studied it, was really difficult for me, because I'm really not a deep emotional kind of guy. I'm just who I am, and when most people are cried and panicking, I'm calm and taking care of the situation. I go and calm down and have a cocktail later, after after everything's all said and done. But that's just the way my switch works. Successful visionaries like to participate and enjoy listening about your visions and what your dreams and things are. When this transformation happens, they enjoy and embrace being in your service. True, lasting loyalties are developed, and they want to be close to you and serve you. Now, to create such bonds, you have to build a lasting relationship. At the most basic level, you have to display healthy emotional energy yourself. You can't be moping around like, oh geez, I can't remember who it was the other day on stage who was doing the Eeyore impersonation of the Winnie the Pooh character. But seriously, who wants to hang out with someone like that? On a bad day, I lost my tail and can't find my way home. Life sucks. So, display a healthy emotional energy yourself. Take personal interest in others and notice others' personal strengths. Even if there's 99 things out of 100 that they do that drive you absolutely Looney Tune, try to find that one good personal strength, and by all means available, avoid what is referred to in these kinds of books, and I've heard it in other writings in the past, what's called the three toxic A's, and that's authoritarianism, anger, and detachment. Okay, I know that detachment, it doesn't begin with an A, but I didn't think the word, I didn't know what the word meant, so I looked it up, used the thesaurus, and put in detachment. Sorry. But in every situation, try to make it a habit of asking yourself key questions of emotional intelligence. How do you feel? How does a person or people that I'm talking to, how do they feel? What common stumbling blocks do you have in between the two of each of you, the group, either whether it's you in the group or you in one-on-one or whatever? What common stumbling blocks do you both have between you? Now, a good leader is able to answer these questions, and if they can, they'll be in a position to create a lasting emotional bond with these people that they're dealing with. Successful visionaries of all ages have learned to forge emotional bonds instinctively without a conscious agenda. Again, we're going back to the 7% that your conscious brain does. The 93% that it doesn't do is what comes out of your mouth. It's what you put into your brain. Your subconscious runs your head. Remember that. Drill that into your head if you must. And we have to be aware of the bond existence between the changes of behaviors around the people that we're dealing, people or persons that we're dealing with. People want to be in a leader's presence. They want to serve their leader. They wish to perform their best because it will bring, when they perform their best or you perform your best, it brings you closer to your leader. Your leader notices, hey, that guy's really kicking ass this week. He's made, 10 sales a day or 5 sales a day, and he's really going after it. He's going to notice that, and he's going to want to get closer to you. You're going to want to get closer to him for the mentorship. And you want to do that. You want to have that kind of rapport with all the leaders. When I went this weekend, I tried my damnedest to get to every major player that I could and shake their hand. Dave Sharp, Dave Wood, Tony Rush. I asked Tony Rush if he knew Latin. That's how I broke conversation with him. Laura Parrish. There were several others that I, Darren Little, whose hand I got to shake and got some great information. Point being, you want to hang out with the people that you wish to emulate or be like. The kind of people that want to be part and share a leader's vision will follow always, and they want to participate in the leader's success. Can I help you set up chairs? Can I help you do something behind stage? Can I run and get you a coffee? Those are people who want to grow, who want to be around that leader, who want that leader to want them to be around them. Are we following? I hope everybody's following me. I'm just not reading words and losing people. This next section of this chapter I call Becoming Emotionally Intelligent. Now, emotional bonding is not the same as being touchy-feely. A lot of people get that mixed up. People that are touchy-feely are over-personal, they're overbearing, they're always wearing their heart on their sleeve, and they're not fun to be around. But any successful visionary has emotional freedom so that they can effectively bond with others, and they must be emotionally free. And a lot of the leaders, especially the women this weekend, they talked about praying, they talked about meditation, they talked about being emotionally free, being able to separate the business from the home, or the home from the business. Because in order to bond with others, you've got to be emotionally free. And if you don't have a clear mind, Only in clarity can you trust yourself emotionally. And if you don't trust you, other people aren't going to trust you. Somebody else talked about that with the example of a dog and a postman or something. Why don't dogs like guys in uniform? What is it about that? Nobody knows, but it's like Pavlov's theory. So you need to trust yourself emotionally so that others can trust you. To reach that point of clarity, it is absolutely pertinent that we all stay aware of your body. And when I say that, I mean be aware of your body language. Be aware of how you're standing. When you're listening to somebody, your arms crossed and your head's wrinkled, and it's clear you got this glare on your face and you're smiling and nodding, but your brain's somewhere else. They can see that too, and they know that you're not paying attention, and that becomes very hurtful for them, and it turns that into an emotional situation. So try, when you're talking to people, to be 100% genuine, and be aware of your body language. And of course, B is always be aware of your feelings, and C is express your feelings. Or don't express your feelings unless you can actively recognize and release them. If you can't do that, then what happens is they're going to build up, and you end up with ulcers and other health issues. Again, I cannot remember the gentleman's name who came on Face and talked about his daughter picking on him for having a crooked smile because he didn't go to church one day, and he woke up the next day and he had some kind of palsy, and the one side of his face was paralyzed. Okay? Stress will do that to you. Stress will mess you up. It'll put holes in your stomach. Look, guys and gals, I have a degree in I'm an RN, and I specialized in emergency trauma surgery. You would not believe how many people come in and die because they've got bleeding ulcers they never knew they had, that are caused by stress. Stress will kill you. Get over it. Stand on your head. Hang out of a tree. I'm a big fan of the MASH series. There's one series where Sidney Friedman, the medical shrink, comes walking through, and they're having a rough day, and he says something along the lines of, people pull down your pants and slide on the ice. I can't remember the whole thing, but basically it's, you need to let stuff go once in a while. You know, if you don't, you're going to kill yourself. And then everything you've worked for, your entire legacy, where does it go? What good is it doing now? I mean, not that, you can't take your money with you, but now you've left people behind, and you're hurting people, and people are hurting for you, and nobody really is enjoying their life anymore because you're not part of it. That sucks. Don't let stress ruin your life, man. Just deal with your emotions. That's all I got to say, and I can say that with an open and clean heart because, as I said in yesterday's video, I spent a good 2 hours Saturday just bawling like a baby, and I don't know why, just somebody said something that just hit the right button and I lost it, and it was horrible. Take responsibility for what you feel, good or bad. A lot of people, I'm not gonna, I think Dave Wood talks about his mom keeping a daily journal. It's a place for you to be totally honest and admit your flaws, and also jot down what, if you find yourself with a flaw, you can jot down what you think a good solution would be for that flaw, and read that and work on that on a daily basis in order to improve them. Share your feelings with people you trust. Don't come running up to people that you don't know and go, "Oh, my husband just left me." You're not going to get a whole lot from them, but share your feelings with people that you trust. Everybody needs a loved one or a close confidant that'll listen, that'll be empathetic and that will offer a different point of view. Okay, have someone in your life you can do that. It may not be your husband or wife. I know that there's a lot of things emotionally that I can talk to guys that were in the military about, that pounded some of the same dirt that I pounded. We were kind of in the same parts of the world. I can talk to them about certain things that I could never sit down and talk to my wife about emotionally. Now someday I hope to be able to, but at this point I can't do it. So everybody needs somebody who's close and they can confide in, and that can give them a different point of view. Another perfect example, and I'm going to use her name again, I hope she never gets mad at me for using it so much. When I met Laura Parrish on the second floor balcony, I was headed back to my seat and she was taking pictures with her check and with her team, and I kind of just stuck my head in. I said, Laura, I don't know, I'm not part of your team and I know you don't know me, but my name is Gunny Warburton, and you really inspired me and touched my heart today. What happened meant a lot. And she put her arm around me and she pulled me close and she said, Gunny, we are all on the same team. We're all Team Empower Network. And it something registered in me. And it took her saying that before I realized that I wasn't just part of the 10-10 Formula team or the Lazy Millionaires League or whatever. I forgot that banner, so I'm sorry if I botched it up. But I wasn't a member of any specific group. I was a member of Empower Network. We're all part of the same team. We all should be working together to make this more successful and make the less successful people more successful. So there's that. Next subheading is shared enthusiasm. When you're talking to your team or you're talking to a group of people, try to stay away from the words me and I, because you're part of a team. And you guys know the old saying, there's no I in team. When you say things like, this is great for me, instead try to say, this experience will be great for us. The best maxim is not to look great, but to let others make us look great. And if you don't know what that means, in the military we always talk about we're only as strong as our weakest soldier. You're only as strong as the weakest link in a chain. I could go on and on. It's the same thing with this team building with Empower Network. If you've got somebody who's negative on your team, or just isn't working out and all they can do is complain, 86 them. Give them to another team. Maybe another mentor can work with them, but you don't have to work with them. This is your business. You got somebody on your team that's bringing you down, get them the hell out. Again, I'm no genius and I'm scared to death of being in front of this camera, but before I went to Chicago, I put a challenge out there, and it was a pretty harsh challenge, and I actually had people come up at me and cuss at me a little bit, in a good way. But the point of the fact was, one of my statements in that video was, if you really want to build this business and you don't come to this function, then you don't deserve to be on a team, because you really don't want to be part of a team that's helping other people grow their business. And that's what Empower is all about, is helping other people. Sure, you're going to get paid. Sure, it's about some money. But the money eventually is not going to mean jack shit. If you're not helping somebody else grow, what fulfillment are you getting from the millions of dollars you have in a bank? Nothing. It's all about the other people. Genuinely caring for others. Try to offer someone 5 minutes each day. 5 minutes of your time. I know that every one of us has 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes away from the TV. Take 5 minutes away from washing your clothes or your dishes. Take 5 minutes in the grocery store. And I don't mean you know, standing there nodding and smiling. I have bad ears, and I did that for years. You nod and smile and pretend to listen and put a smile on your face and you know, and it's nothing. But when you are passing somebody in a hallway or in the store, and you stop what you're doing, and they're in one of those hover around things, and you get down on a knee and you look them eye to eye, and you spend 5 minutes holding their hand and asking them, how are you really doing? Do you need some help getting around the store? Can I get something for you? I know that you guys listen to this, some of you, and you think I'm real Boy Scout material. Really, I'm not. Grew up in a single household. My mom taught me to respect other people, and especially respect women, children, and my elders. And so when I see an old lady struggling in a store, I help. Call me old-fashioned. That's just the way it is. I had a young woman the other day in the airport, her baby had a G tube, and she's sitting there all by herself, trying to have lunch, feed the baby through a syringe and a tube, start an IV for some kind of medication, but that was the only way the baby could get the medication. This woman's doing this with a baby in her arms and crap scattered all over her table. And people just kept walking by and giving her dirty looks because she couldn't get her baby to stop crying. After about 30 seconds, I stood up and went over and helped her out. Not because I'm a good guy, not because I'm this great leader, or I have this big heart. I did it because it was the right thing to do. The woman needed some help, so I helped. Where are you? Where's your mind? Where's your heart in this business? I heard a lot of yelling and screaming this weekend at the convention, and when a couple of the people did the close your eyes, and when you exhale, I want you to scream out you know, what your dream is. You got $5 million in your bank and no other bills. What are you going to do with that money? What's that mean to you? And there was a lot of people screaming, I'm going to get a new car, or I'm going to get a new house, or I'm going to pay off the bills and get a new boat. There's an awful lot of eyes in there. I didn't hear a whole lot of, well, I'm going to take half of my salary and I'm going to use it at the homeless shelter downtown to help make sure that they got heavier blankets or extra pillows, or donate it to a Walmart gift card so that these people can go out when they do get a job and clean themselves up. They can go to Walmart, buy a set of clothes, clean clothes, good clothes, unripped clothes, fresh underwear, fresh socks, new shoes, and start. It's not a big deal. Have a willingness to build a relationship with people. Everybody has some kind of common ground. With you guys, it's mostly Empower Network. I was surprised of how many people I did meet that were there at the function that didn't just do Empower Network. They were doing other things as well. So more power to them. I'm not that bright, so my one thing is Empower Network, and that's going to be my baby the rest of my life. But just because they're not in doesn't mean that I don't try to build some kind of friendship or relationship with them. At the bottom, at the beginning, where people like myself are just starting out, all relationships are built on what we have in common. Basically, we're just starting out. You know, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you adjust your camera? Where do you set your camera up? What if you don't have a studio to do your thing, or an office to set up a whiteboard and do your presentation? How do you video this? How do you talk about that? How do you come up with ideas? When we're young in the business, we have a lot in common. As a leader, it's your role, it's your job to be attentive to stepping out of your role as a boss once in a while. Come down onto the floors like Dave and all our leaders do in Empower Network, and make contact for not because you have to. Do it for the sheer pleasure of it, for the fun of spending some time together with some of the lowlings in the business. You know, if you are a team leader, You know, why not take some of your, have a contest within your own team and take the 3 or 5 or however many winners you choose and take them on a rafting trip down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. Or why don't you take them on a deep sea fishing trip out of Cabo for a day for bluefin and for marlin. Or take them up here, bring them up to Alaska and take them king salmon fishing or halibut fishing or lingcod fishing. You know, respect your people, leaders. Not that you don't, I'm just saying, you know, these are the things that I get out of this book, and this is mostly for the up-and-coming leadership so that they have ideas, and maybe it'll spark something in their mind that, oh, once I get successful, I want to do this for my guys or my girls, or I want to make sure the women have a New York City shopping trip or a Rodeo Drive shopping trip, and whatever it may be. Do something for your people. Make their life interesting. Doing this, what I'm doing right now, is difficult. And there was a young lady on stage this weekend that said, when you're first starting out, you're working every waking hour of the day. She has 2 children. I'm not going to mention her name, but she would take naps. She wouldn't even sleep. She would take naps. That's how she kept her energy up to do EN, to learn back office strategies, to learn how to blog, to learn how to use keywords, to learn SEO, to learn all that other stuff that she didn't know how to do. And now she got her husband retired and helping her at home, and she's got a great life, and God bless her. But the one thing I noticed this weekend was she was always in touch with her people. And when I say her people, I don't mean the first 5 or 6 people that she brought into the business and that's it. She was down playing and talking with people that just got in, you know, 10 levels down in her team. Introducing herself, talking to people like me who she didn't know from Adam, and I'm not part of her, quote, team. I'm part of the network team, but I'm not part of her team, her direct team. She still took time to come acknowledge me. That means a lot to the little guy. Next heading is reinforcing strengths of others. Again and again, history has shown best leaders focus on the strength of their followers. You know, who's the best link in the chain? An example here is you're a foreman. You're walking through a factory, and you pass a machine operator, and you say, "Hey, good job." And you keep going. It's totally unoriginal. The guy's like, "Yeah, whatever. I do the same thing every day. Big deal." You know, what we need to do is we need to take the time. A good leader will take the time to point out what exactly he's done as a good job and praise him for that. You have the cleanest machine in the South. I've never seen anybody produce as many pieces as you with so few rejects and keep such a clean work area. You know, anything. In this outfit, my mentor calling me and saying, "Hey, Gunny, they just put a new training up. Were you able to go over it?" And being able to talk to him about it and make sure that I understand what I was taught online through EN, or what I was supposed to be taught, or what I was supposed to learn, that I learned. So we're near the closing today, and basically what I'm going to do, I hope everybody has a pen and paper handy. I always like to, being an instructor, I like to give little quiz type things, but this is more of a call to action kind of thing. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to list 10 behaviors that mend or fix emotional distance. And over the next month, what I'd like you to do is use at least one of them. And I don't mean repeat the best or the one you're best at. Use each one of them at least once over the next month. That means every 3 days use one of these 10 things I'm going to give you. Okay? And of course I'm going to post this video on YouTube and on our own site, on the EN site. It'll be on Facebook, it'll be on Twitter, it'll be on Google. So you can go and you can go back if you forget some of these things, and you can write them down or go over them again. And of course I'm not a college professor, so you'll know in your heart whether or not you made an honest attempt to do these exercises or not. You know, I don't have to know. My job is to blog and do videos. That's what I'm doing. I'm hoping that I'm helping along the way some people that might need or want my coaching. There's other people that are going to look at this and say, I don't need this crap, you know, whatever. So I'm hoping this will help change your emotional leadership skills, and it will continue you on the path, will not continue on a path of failure. You need to do this because if you think that you don't need to grow or change your emotional basis by which you live your life, you're going to be a failure. You may be successful for a year, you may be successful for 2 years, but if you don't create a good emotional bond with the people around you, family, friends, and co-workers, and other people in EN that have mentored you or that you have mentored and become close to, if you just blow them off, eventually you're going to fall apart. You're going to go by the wayside and nobody's going to care. Okay, so I call this closing the gap. Number one, notice where another person is strong or talented and point it out to them. And I don't mean, hey, you've got nice eyes, you got a nice smile. Person's a good talker, tell them. If they do good video, tell them. They do good, what do they call them, screen captures, do them. If they've got a great capture page, tell them about it. They got a great web page, tell them about it. Praise people around you, your children. Unfortunately, I cannot speak from experience, but you know, when the sun comes out and he's wearing 2 different color socks and plaid pants and some funky shirt that's not tucked in, and the collar is up like this on one side and down on the other, and his hair's not brushed or combed or picked, and he just looks like garbage. There's got to be something that looks good on the boy that you just bring out and say, you know, son, you did a real good job brushing your teeth this morning or washing your hair this morning, but I need you to go upstairs and, you know, coordinate your outfit a little better. That's all that's saying. Number two, part of this exercise is we would like you to compliment someone that you would normally avoid and tell them how much better they're getting. Example, I used to work with a fellow that had a problem with body odor. Plain and simple. And he was always grumpy, he was always growling at people. People were intimidated and afraid of the man. Well, eventually I got volunteered to go talk to him because he was unbearable. I mean, he'd be downstairs and walk by the stairs, and our shop was upstairs, and we could smell him. It was pretty bad. I just went and I sat down and talked to him. And I said, you know, basically, dude, whatever soap it is you're using just isn't working. You know, you need to do something. And he explained to me that lived in a mobile home, the pipes were froze, he didn't have any water, cold or hot. He made his coffee with the snow, and he would go out at night when he knew everybody else was in bed. He would go out in his skivvies and a pair of boots and stand knee deep in the snow and use the snow and wash himself off. What do you say to that? But you know what? Once I brought it to his attention, he didn't smell so bad the next day or the day after that. And he eventually started smelling a little better. And come to find out, he had met a young lady who allowed him to rent her basement. They're married now, by the way, but she allowed him to rent her basement and use her facilities so that he could stay clean. How amazing is that? You know darn well that was a God thing, or an Allah thing, or a heavenly power thing. That's all I'm going to say. And I love this next one. Number 3, take the time to praise the people around you without expecting praise in return. So many people say, hey, love that sweater, so that because they just bought a new sweater, or a new blouse, or they're wearing new earrings, or a hat, or gloves, or pants, or shoes, or whatever. And what they're looking for is, they're not complimenting that person because they really like that purse. They're complimenting that person because they want that person to compliment them back on their outfit, or their complexion, or their face, or where'd you get your nails done, where do you get your eyes done, who does your facials. Okay? Try to do it. Again, I'm going to call myself a Boy Scout. I'm always in Good Samaritan mode. I get told all the time by friends and my wife, don't stop, don't stop. How do you know a person's not going to have a gun or a knife? Well, you know what, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. If somebody needs help, I'm going to help them. I see a hobo that I'm normally used to seeing walking up and down the street, and he's flipping hamburgers at McDonald's right now. I'm letting him know that I'm proud of him for taking that step to get off the street and straighten his life out. We should all try to do that. Again, we're trying to wrap this up, so I'll go quickly. 4, go along with this person that you praise, and or people that you praise. If it happens to be missions or church work or whatever it is that you're in, go along with. I'm a firm believer in following your pastor, but I'm going to quantify that statement with this. Do it as long as you feel right doing it in your heart. If your heart doesn't feel right, then there's something not right. And share that with your pastor or whoever it is that's asked you to follow them on this little quest. You never know. You may find out that there's just some answers you didn't have, and you'll feel better afterwards. I don't argue much. Being a Marine, I learned a long time ago, arguing only escalates things, so don't do it. When I get into a heated discussion or I disagree with something at home, generally I take a walk, throw on my jacket, where are you going? I'm taking a walk. And when I come back, after I've thought it through, I come back in one mood. And that mood is a peacemaking mood. And when I say peacemaking, I don't mean I make up so I can get a peace that night. I mean come back, peace, P-E-A-C-E, peace, love and peace. Okay? Make peace at home. Be flexible. Husbands, wives, children, every one of you have a little bit of a different personality. Be forgiving. You can't choose your family, you can only choose your friends. But your friends will die off and turn their back on you. Your family will love you unconditionally the rest of your life. Remember that. Always remember that. Own your own feelings. Nobody else owns their feelings. Own yours. One of my favorite things, I've said it for years and years and years. Someone will say, you pissed me off. Well, if you're pissed off, it's something that you have to deal with. I'm not standing here making you mad. You're mad because you're choosing to be mad. You're choosing to be angry. Walk away and come back with a solution peacefully on how to fix the problem. Even if I am wrong and I'm being the idiot, come back with a solution and let's work on it. But don't own your feelings. You know, understand that you're getting mad because you're getting mad. You're making the choice to get mad or sad or happy. Your choice. People smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol and take drugs mostly out of choice. They know it's wrong. Yes, some are hooked, some are addicted. There's some addictive drugs. But for the most part, they have a choice. At some point during that low, before they get high again, they know that they're doing something wrong. They know. They can make a choice to stop and get help. So, you know, just keep that in mind. When you're in a group with people and you're near somebody that's close to you, don't bring up sensitive issues like, you know somebody's wife's got cancer, or they're dying, or they're hurting, or something's going on. That isn't a thing to discuss within a group of people. You wait and save that and talk it privately with them. You wouldn't want them talking about stuff like that or your personal life with you in front of other people. 8 is, before you bring up personal issues, wait until you're in a good emotional place with that. And then make sure that the person you're sharing these issues with is also in a good emotional state. Because if you're going through a divorce and your best friend is going through a divorce and you're having coffee together and all of a sudden you start getting into ex-husband bashing, where do you think she's going to go? Probably the same place. Or, and this goes for the guys, ex-wife bashing, same thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. You know, be in a good emotional place when you talk about things that are bothering you. And if you can't be in a good emotional place, then don't talk about them. Or go talk to your pastor or your priest. Or go sit in an empty church and talk to God, pray. Or go sit in your room and scream into your pillow and pray. People always talk about the power of prayer. Prayer does work. I don't care what religion you are, prayer works. May not happen today, may not happen tomorrow, but it works. I promise you that. I'm living proof of that. Okay, my mother got 3 letters from the Department of the Navy telling her that I was dead. 3. Hello? I'm here. So, it's because of prayer. People that prayed for me and my own conversations with God. Number 9, avoid stale rituals. What I mean by that is, how's it going? Okay. Try something new. Try something to say, a new way to reply to somebody how much you care about them. They ask you how you're doing. Hey, my favorite thing is I'm always outstanding. And people always just kind of do a double take. You're outstanding, it's raining, it's snowing, it's mushy, it's ugly, it's blowing. Streets are flooded. We had to walk the friggin' thing in 2 feet of water. My boots are full of it. It's outstanding. You're alive, right? Be happy about that. Be happy that you're standing up and walking around. Number 10, last and not least, please, every day, find one thing to forgive someone in your life that has hurt you in some way. Find a way to forgive that person. You don't need to let them know what that thing was they did to piss you off. You don't need to rehash it and bring it up. But forgive them. Forgive them from your heart. Just don't say, hey, I forgive you for what happened. Really forgive them. Let go. It'll help. It'll help you and it'll help them. So as you apply these behaviors on a daily basis, turning emotional distance into a close bond with people, be easy with yourself. And of course with the other people in your life. And by closing that emotional gap that isolates people from one another, you're proving that the emotional side of life can be fruitful. It helps us overcome our fears. Our inner resistance leads to shared joy. And I just want to say good day. Thank you for your time. Tomorrow I'll continue with the on a chapter of the power of awareness and alertness, being aware of your surroundings and being alert. I want to send a special thanks out to Empowered Network. By God, if it wasn't for you people, I can tell you right now I wouldn't have a roof over my head, and I'd be crying in a bottle somewhere, because you've just given me a whole new look on life, a whole new take on the way life's supposed to be. Of course, I want to help the 10-10 Formula Training Group and Tribe. You guys are, again, an invaluable tool for me. I learned so much this weekend you wouldn't believe. And my brain is still going 100 miles an hour, and I'm just writing all the time. And I'm reading good books and taking care of myself. I want to thank Chris and Susan Beasley, my sponsor Doug Young, and everybody at the event that was a tremendous help. And we can't, I refuse to leave out the wonder and the power and support and knowledge of what I am calling the super women on Empower. Semper Fi, do or die. Learn your Latin, Tony Rush. You might be talking to me on stage in Denver. Thank you all for everything you do, both in front and behind the scenes of EN, the EN staff, the people we don't see, rolling tables and stuff on and off stage. Well, maybe down in front you can see I was in the nosebleed section. But I just want to thank everybody for listening. Hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care now.